Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm so excited to be filming this video today. I went shopping at Ulta and got a few things that I've been wanting to try. One of the things I'm going to be testing out is the Nars Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. Let's see, I got the shade Light Zero. I am usually the lightest shade in most things. I have extremely fair skin. I also have sensitive and acne prone skin as well. So I tend to struggle to find things that work for me. Oh, the other thing that I'm going to try, and I'm really excited for this one. I've heard such great things about it, and especially if it can perform for the price range that it's in, I will be sold. We got the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. I have heard extremely good things about this, so I'm very excited to try it. Alright, well, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is eyeshadow because I tend to get a little bit messy with eyeshadow. I'm not going to go all out for eyeshadow because I mainly just want to test these out, but we have to put something on the lids. I feel naked without it. I don't particularly enjoy how my hair looks, but I'm extremely messy with things, so I'd just rather do this than to get it all in my hair, especially when I go to do bronzer. Okay, I'm so excited. The first thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit of concealer over the eyes, just as primer. I'm not going to use the NYX one for this. I'm just going to use what I'm comfortable with for right now, and that's the Nars Radiant and Creamy Concealer. And I just dab a little bit onto my hand just to go over to help the eyeshadow blend well, and to help cover up any dark and redness that I have. Another thing that I like to use for eyeshadow primer is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I got it for my face, but it broke me out. I have extreme acne prone skin, which actually this is not what broke me out. It would be the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue that broke me out. It seems like every time that I use that, I break out, but I love it. It's like, I don't know, it's one of those love-hate relationships. But this works really well to prime with eyeshadow. And especially if I'm doing like a full glam look, I will use that because it holds my eyeshadow all day long. Oh, one of the other things that I got, I'm not going to be using today, but I'll use it for another video. And it's the Juvia's Place. It's just a little eyeshadow palette with greens. I love green eyeshadow and struggle to find it. It's called the Rebel Army, but look how pretty these are. It has 2 mattes and 2 shimmer shades. I'm very excited to try that out. Okay, let's go in with the eyeshadow. I'm just going to do a very simple look for this video. I'm just going to go in with a soft color and then possibly a shimmer shade. I'm going to go in with the ABH Soft Glam palette. I love this palette. Everything is so pigmented and just holds really well. The eyeshadow brush I'm using, and this is actually weird, I have tons and I always go back to this one for just blending out my, base shade. And it's a eyeshadow brush that I got from a Urban Decay Naked palette, like the Smoky Eye palette, years and years and years ago, and I have yet to let it go. It is one of my favorites. I'm just going to go in with the shade Tempera just to put all over my lid. Not quite sure if I said that right. I tend to butcher names of eyeshadows, but almost just to kind of set the concealer. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go in with the Burnt Orange. It's just a matte shade, and I'm just going to use this more of like a transition shade and then put a shimmer on the lid. Another thing that I got from Ulta is the First Aid Beauty Hydrating Eye Cream. I've been in need of an eye cream. Underneath my eyes are extremely dry, and I know they tell you not to go in with like your regular face moisturizer, but I have done that a few times. I haven't had any issues, but I do need one that's just for underneath my eyes. If you guys know a good one, I've been wanting to try the Drunk Elephant Brightening Eye Cream. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but I've heard good things about it. It's so expensive, I think we looked yesterday when we went to Ulta, and it was, like, I think $60 if I'm not mistaken. It was pretty pricey. And it's just for brightening, or I would have probably got it. And I do need something that's hydrating until I can get rid of these fine lines. But I'm now going to just buff this all over the lid a little bit. Once I have the base color that I want, I'm just going to go in with a shimmer shade. I drop everything. Once we have the base color down, I'm actually just going to go in with the eye brush that come in this palette. And I'm going to go in with the shade Fairy. Just this really pretty gold. I'm a sucker for shimmer shades. Maybe I should quit while I'm ahead. It's like the fourth thing I've dropped since I've started this video, and I'm not 5 minutes into it. So I promise it doesn't usually take me this long to put my makeup on, but I get distracted talking and I get all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go in with that shade Fairy on the lid. This is a gorgeous shimmer shade. And I'm just going to take the other side to blend in the crease so it's not like a harsh line, and to take the shimmer up just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to do the same on the other eye. I'm not very good at putting it on. I'm just now really learning how to apply makeup. I've wore basically the same 5 things since high school. I had extremely sensitive skin. It has toned down a little bit, and it's not as bad as it used to be. Also, makeup has come a long way from whenever I was younger. You know, you have a lot more skincare products. It's not necessarily as a harsh ingredients. And I've noticed that I am not reacting as harshly. No, I definitely can't use fragrance. I actually tried the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, and it has fragrance in it, and it irritated my eyes no end. And that sucks because I actually really like that concealer. Once we are done blending that out, I am just going to wipe away all of the fallout. Okay, now for the exciting part. I am going to go in with the Nars Tinted Moisturizer. I am a sucker for tinted moisturizers. I love them, especially during summertime. They just work so well for me. And I have combination skin, so I do get dry patches, and they also help with that. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think I got a little bit too much. I'm going to go in with my favorite foundation brush, which is the Rare Beauty foundation brush. This is absolutely amazing. It blends so well. Please don't come at me if I apply something wrong. I am learning. However, I will not be offended by tips that you want to leave me and any advice to make my makeup look better. Is there anything that you guys want me to test if you have sensitive skin? Is there a product that you've been wanting to try but are nervous to? I can test out anything that doesn't have fragrance, because that I already know I can't handle. I've noticed that if they say like they have less than 1% synthetic fragrance, that I have tried a few things and it doesn't really bother me. But if their fragrance is like high up on the list, then I can't. I'm still learning what ingredients irritate my skin, because where I just started not that long ago, I haven't been through a whole lot of products. I've tried the Nars Foundation and the Estee Lauder Foundation. The Nars Light Reflecting Foundation is one of my absolute favorites right now. And also the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Foundation is one of my favorites. I am loving how this goes on. I feel like this is a perfect shade match, and I struggled to get that. But it is just, I don't know, I love this finish. I feel like it's glowy almost, but not too glowy. I love glowy products, but I don't like glittery products. Like, I don't like anything that looks like I have slapped a bunch of glitter on my face, but I also love highlight and radiance at the same time, if that makes sense. But I also can do matte finishes, like the Estee Lauder is definitely a matte finish. But I'm just going to take my beauty blender and go over everything. I'm really happy with how that applied. I'm really excited. I'm anxious to see like the longevity of this and how long it will wear. Now time to go in with the star of the show, the NYX concealer. I'm going to go in with the Rare Beauty concealer brush. I haven't been able to wear a lot of concealer lately. Like, this is more than I've been wearing because it's just settling into my under eyes really bad. Let's try blending this out. I take it up into the corners just a little bit where I have those dark circles. I will say this is blending really well. I'm going to take my sponge and dab off the excess. This is just blending so well. The real test will be if it does not settle into my fine lines. Let's blend upwards a little bit. This feels extremely hydrating. I always like to go over my nose a little bit to conceal the redness. I have very red skin sometimes. It just depends on the time of year and the season. Okay, I'm really loving this. I'm really loving how this is blending out. I'm loving everything about it. It's not like showing my fine lines, and I loaded that down, and I am telling you that I have been using the Nars Creamy Concealer, and it is just like, I can barely put one dot and blend up, and it is just like showing every fine line that I have. And I was using that prior and it didn't do that. So it's not the concealer, but my under eyes have just been extremely dry. I have been moisturizing, but this does not look anything like those other ones. So I just wonder if this is supposed to be like a hydrating concealer. Does it say? It doesn't say, but it feels really nice. I'm really happy with these buys. Don't you just love when you go and you buy products that you're really excited for and they don't let you down? There's nothing worse than going and buying products that you've like been hyped up and you get it and you're so pumped to use it and then it sucks. You know, that is always disappointing. Let's get to the fun part. Well, we already done the fun part, so I'm just going to edit that out. Let's get to the setting powder. I'm going to use the Laura Mercier powder. I think that's how you say that. I'm really bad at butchering names. I tend to do that a lot. So if you ever comment and say anything and I respond, I'm sorry ahead of time. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and set the under eyes and take the sponge to get rid of any creases. I hope you guys can see the texture of this moisturizer if you haven't used it. I know it's not new, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that hasn't tried it yet that wants to, because that's one thing I want really bad on my channel, is for you to be able to see like the actual texture of my skin and not, you know, how it looks a lot on social media, which is very filtered. I want you to be able to see, you know, the flaws in my skin, because skin is naturally flawed. It's just how it is. Nobody has perfect skin. Everybody has their issues with it, and it's just normal. It's natural to, you know, have texture and flaws, and I feel like they build it up a lot, that, you know, like they show these foundations where their skin is just absolutely perfect, and then you put it on and you're like, mine doesn't look like that. And I'm not saying everybody is like that. You know what I'm talking about. You see it a lot, I'm sure. Now that the face is set, I do like to go back over it just with a damp beauty blender. It's almost dry now. It's just got enough dampness that'll lift that powdery finish, and it's just what I personally like to do. It just feels like it, you know, sinks everything into the skin. Now I'm going to go in with my favorite bronzer, and this is also nothing new, and I'm sure you guys have tried it. If not tried it, at least heard about it. But it's the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It works so well for my fair skin. I can't turn it away. But if you guys know any bronzers that are good for fair skin, let me know. Because I was actually afraid to use bronzer for the longest time. And I'm sure I still don't apply bronzer right. I'm sure I don't apply most things right. I'm learning. I also like to go like the hairline, but I take it and I go like upwards. It's just how I personally like to do it. And I don't use a dense brush, so that way it's just very faint, just enough to give you a little bit of color. I just like to go over this with my powder brush. I didn't apply any more product, but just to make sure that everything is like seamlessly blended. Now I'm going to go in with my favorite step, which is blush. And I am using the Milani blush, powdered blush in Coral Cove. This is absolutely one of the most gorgeous colors for summer. I don't know if you guys have tried it, but if you haven't, you should. It is absolutely gorgeous. And a way that I like to apply my blush is to start on like the outer parts first and blend like upward. And then I like to take it and then pinch the brush to go up underneath my eye, just on this back part here. I just feel like having this like straight white line right here that separates, you know, your eyes from your blush. I just don't necessarily like how that looks. And I started doing this recently and I have fallen in love with it. I know that everybody likes to apply blush differently. I also pinch and go up on the temples. So then I'm just going to take the blush and blend down to the apples more. But I always do this at more of like a lighter shade to where it like fades into the front of my face, but more pigmented in the back. I tend to go a little crazy whenever I'm applying it, so I do the same thing that I do with my bronzer, which is just try to go over and diffuse it a little bit. Okay, I'm happy. I used to be really afraid of blush because of how fair-skinned I am, and everybody said that I would look like a clown if I wore it. And then I quit caring what other people think and just done whatever I wanted to do, whatever makes me feel good. Now I'm going to go in to the lower lash line with the same colors that I did up top. Just going to go in with that burnt orange. I'm more of a home person. So I'm actually not going anywhere after this. I just got too excited to not try that. I just got home from work not that long ago and wanted to give this a shot. You know how when you get those things and you're just really excited and you can't really wait? So I come home from work, washed my face, and redone my makeup. That's how makeup obsessed I am. I'm going to go back in with the Fairy shade very lightly. My husband is actually cooking for me right now. He's amazing. We're having chicken Alfredo tonight. He is very sweet. Didn't ask me how my personal life's going. Sorry, I tend to share too much. You come here to talk about makeup. Okay, now I'm going to take the powder brush and just make sure that no fallout was there, and then go in with mascara, and I'm going to use the Lash Paradise, the L'Oreal mascara. I love this mascara. I need a new mascara, actually. That's something I'm a sucker for trying. So if you guys have any lash recommendations, mascara recommendations, let me know. Now I'm just going to go back in with the same mascara on the lower lash line. This is, it's all over my face. Now I'm going to go in with lip. We'll go in with the Nars lipstick in the shade Orgasm. And I'm going to use the Jaclyn Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Macaroon. I love this lip liner. A lot of times I'll just put it all over the lips and it's gorgeous. Now that we have done that, I'm going to go in with the Nars. I love how that looks. It looks so fresh and summery. Okay, the last thing is brow. I'm going to use the Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I actually use the shade 3 and 3.5 the most. This shade is very light and forgiving. I usually do take a lot more time to do my brows, but for right now, since I am letting them grow out, you can see the very long mess. For some reason, they like stop right here and then a whole nother line comes out down there. Like, it makes no sense to me. And then I'm going to go back over them with a spoolie. No, a lot of people do their brows before their foundation, but I just get it all in my eyebrows. And do you guys use the soap or do you use like the brow gel? I have been curious about using the soap, but I just never have. Okay, I'm going to go in with the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. And I always go like back and forth on it just to kind of coat everything. I think that I am done. And I am absolutely loving how everything looks right now. I look very ready for summer. I'm very happy with it. And I am in love with this tinted moisturizer and concealer. Honestly, I think that's one of the best concealers that I've tried. And I'm extremely picky on concealers. So if that tells you anything. It still hasn't really like creased up, especially not with how it's been doing. So I'm very pleased. It's always exciting to find new products that you're in love with and that get you excited. I actually haven't been this excited about a concealer in a really long time, or even really any product. And I love the tinted moisturizer as well, but I'll know more on that, you know, the more I wear it and to see if it actually helps and if there's any benefits to your skin and things like that. But I think I'm going to finish up, and I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and you can hit the notification bell to see every time I post a video. Hopefully you guys will come back by, and I will see you next time. Bye. Lord, I screwed that ending all up.